penguins. Hello, Nightwolf.
There ain't doo-doo you can do. You just say, well, doo-doo, and let doo-doo happen to you. A song of doo-doo, pocket full of this. Life's a mess, but we can't resist. Doo-doo, I'm tired, but I'll persist. Doo-doo into doo-doo again, what a twist. Next week the word is gonna be poop. Substitute the S word, it's a new scoop. And life gives you doo-doo, don't you droop. Just laugh it off and join the poop troop. A song of doo-doo, pocket full of piss. Life's a mess, but we can't resist. Doo-doo, I'm tired, but I'll persist. Doo-doo into doo-doo again, what a twist. In the land of doo-doo, we all unite. Through the stink and the mess, we see the light. With a smile on our face, we take the fight. Turning doo-doo days into something bright. A song of doo-doo, pocket full of piss. Life's a mess, but we can't resist. Doo-doo, I'm tired, but I'll persist. Doo-doo into doo-doo again, what a twist. When doo-doo hits the fan, just take a stand. With a smile on your face and a poop in your hand. Life's a crazy ride, but we'll make it grand. In the land of doo-doo, we'll make our stand. From the bathroom to the backyard, doo-doo's everywhere. But we won't let it bring us down, we don't care. We'll dance through the doo-doo without a scare. In the doo-doo kingdom, we'll always fare. A song of doo-doo, pocket full of piss. Life's a mess, but we can't resist. Doo-doo, I'm tired, but I'll persist. Doo-doo into doo-doo again, what a twist. So when doo-doo comes knocking, don't you fret, just sing this song and don't forget. Life's full of doo-doo, but it's not over yet. We'll laugh through the doo-doo with no regret.
Hello, my name is Zurzu Zyklin, and welcome to my channel. Hello, Sirloin. Again, hello, Sue and Nightwolf. So, I'm not sure if you guys know, but apparently, Marjorie Taylor Greene has resigned. You may know Marjorie Taylor Greene better by her, don't wear mask and, the bagel people space lasers. But apparently, recently, now, she's recently started making sense. She started talking about women's rights and things like that, things that are totally off MAGA. Matter of fact, a lot of the things she's been saying is completely anti-MAGA, and MAGA has been pushing back on her very hard, including the president of the United States, who originally was basically, he had nothing but good things to say about Marjorie Taylor Greene, and she had nothing but good things to say about him. Until about a month ago, maybe 2 months ago, when Marjorie Taylor Greene started saying things that made me go, wow, she's right. And I must have had 6 different occasions that I thought, wow, she's right. But before I go into her resignation, you may remember her also campaigning on draining the swamp, removing the corruption from underneath our government, and that it only took a small few to drain that swamp. Well, now that she sees the swamp that the MAGA crowd has created, she's just going to run away. Just going to run away and leave us all hanging.
Everyone. I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which is why I've always been despised in Washington, D.C. and just never fit in.
No, wrong. That's already, she already started with a lie. Everybody loved her up until recently when she started talking about the girls in Epstein files.
Americans are used by the...
Now, in her defense, she argued about the Epstein files quite a bit from the beginning. But it was to point out the Democrats that were in the Epstein files, Now that the Republicans want to hide all the Republicans that were in the Epstein files, she's considered a traitor.
Political industrial complex of both political parties, election cycle after election cycle, in order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other side more. And the results are always the same. No matter which way the political pendulum swings, Republican or Democrat, nothing ever gets better for the common American man or woman. The debt goes higher, corporate and global interests remain Washington's sweethearts, American jobs continue to be replaced, whether it's by illegal labor or legal labor by visas or just shipped overseas. Small businesses continue to be swallowed by big corporations. Americans' hard-earned tax dollars always fund foreign wars, foreign aid, and foreign interest. And the spending power of the dollar continues to decline. The average American family can no longer survive on a single breadwinner's income, as both parents have to work in order to simply survive. And today, many in my children's generation feel hopeless for their future and don't think they will ever realize the American dream.
That's more of a reason to remain in Congress than any reason whatsoever, is to remain there and fight that corruption that you're talking about. It's weird. It's like she just bumped her head and like woke up sane. I guess that's what happens to crazy people when they lose their mind.
And that breaks my heart. I ran for Congress in 2020 and have fought every single day believing that Make America Great Again meant America first.
No, unfortunately you were deceived. What MAGA stands for? Well, if you look up the Church of Satan, you will find that MAGA is the highest rank of the Church of Satan.
I have one of the most conservative voting records
in Congress. But the problem there is she's not going to find any friends in the Democratic Party. Sure, she says a couple of nice things. Sorry, I'm talking over her. She says a couple of nice things, but nobody's jumping over to help her out. And now the Repubs hate her too.
Little guy. Strong, safe borders.
You make your bed
is a fought against
statement that comes to mind.
Insanity and mandated.
Yeah, I had to cut out some words that YouTube doesn't let me say.
I've never voted to fund foreign wars with your hard-earned tax dollars. However, with almost 1 year into our majority, the legislature has been mostly sidelined. We endured an 8-week shutdown, wrongly, resulting in the House not working for the entire time, and we are entering campaign season, which means all courage leaves and only safe campaign re-election mode is turned on in the House of Representatives. During the longest shutdown in our nation's history, I raged against my own speaker and my own party for refusing to proactively work diligently to pass the plan to save Americans' health care and protect Americans from our...
Wait, what? She did, but I mean, what happened? How did she just like all of a sudden become aware of what we need? We need health care.
Outrageous, overpriced, and unaffordable health insurance policies. The House should have been in session working every day to fix this disaster. But instead, America was force-fed disgusting political drama once again.
By the way, hello,
from both
Dr.
sides
Nimrod.
of the aisle on television every single day. My bills, which reflect many of President Trump's executive orders, like calling for a new census counting Americans only to draw new districts, making English the official language of the U.S., making it a felony to medically trans a minor, and other bills like eliminating...
You know, about that issue, I mean, yeah, that's kind of, wow, that's okay, that's out there, but how many instances? I know only one, it only takes one, but how are we talking about a minority? Why is Congress worrying about things that only would affect? I mean, I understand affecting a small minority to a point. But what I mean is things that aren't really happening, or at least not on a regular basis enough to.
Capital gains.
And since Dr. Nimrod's here, what, I haven't played it in a long time.
For he is a bearded weirdo that has a doctorate in bacon. For everything to do with what this man forever knows, including that might be chip bacon with potato. He makes for a great friend to have his words often wise. Wherever stupid shows his head, there you might find the Dr. Nimrod with his head in his hand, mouth the jar. For sometimes he imparts his knowledge on a wandering penguin, and for this we think that he's great, for at least a good friend.
Yeah, that's enough of that crap.
Taxes on the sale of your primary home and eliminating H-1B visas. Just sit. They all sit collecting dust.
Well, that's part of the problem. A lot of what you ran on was eliminating, getting rid of, while saying, hey, we're protecting your First and Second Amendment. Well, I guess as long as I can say fuck you and, go bang bang every once in a while, then I don't give a crap about any of the other rights, do I?
That's how it is for most members of Congress bills. The Speaker never brings them to the floor for a vote. Many common Americans are no longer easily convinced by paid political propaganda spokespersons and consultants on TV and paid shills on social media, obediently serving with cult-like conviction to force others to swallow the political party talking points.
Well, that's exactly what your campaign was. It was the get out there and hit them hard with the funniest meme, and that's exactly what you ran on.
Because they know how much credit card debt they have, they know how much their bills have gone up over the past 5 years. They actually
now she feels for the American people. This is crazy.
Do their own grocery shopping and no food costs too much. Their
Right.
rent has increasingly gone up,
And we don't
up.
have to go to
They have
get
been outbid
ID.
by corporate asset managers too many times when they put in an offer to buy a house. They have been laid off after being forced to train their visa holding replacement. The college degree they were told to earn only left them in debt with no big six-figure salary. They see more homeless people than ever on their own community streets. They can't afford health insurance or practically any insurance, and they just aren't stupid.
And that's why you're going to fight for them, right? No, you're just going to quit.
These are the people I represent and love because
No, they're
that
not.
is
You're
who
running
all
away.
of my family and friends are. Common Americans.
No, your friends are idiots. They're MAGA nuts, just like you are. They're people who believe in bagel people, space lasers. Do you really think that the bagel people built a space laser and started a forest fire?
I've been blessed to represent the 14th District of Georgia for 5 years. The district is filled with some of the most wonderful, kind-hearted, God-fearing, patriotic, hardworking people you will ever meet. Good, regular, common Americans. I've worked hard to bring taxpayer dollars back home to help district needs. I impeached Biden's Secretary of Homeland after watching my constituents die as he facilitated dangerous open border invasion into America.
Oh, yeah, by the way, whatever happened to that convoy of Mexicans that was coming to crash our borders? When in reality, it was migrants moving from, I think it was Guatemala to Mexico. They never made it to our border. That was a big jump scare. That's exactly what you're talking about.
And I led the effort to defund hard-left politically biased NPR and PBS and the corrupt USAID, and I did that as chair of the DOJ subcommittee. I have fought harder than almost
Yeah,
any other
Doge. That was nonsense. Doge, that is nonsense. That's the stupid Elon Musk getting in there and getting rid of something that actually functioned and putting in, I don't know, he musked it up.
elected Republican to elect Donald Trump and Republicans to power. I traveled the country for years. I spent millions of my own money. I
Oh
missed
man, that's
precious
crazy. 50-year mortgages. Speaking about 50-year mortgages, yeah, let's derail for a second. That's a good one to derail onto. That is insane. So right now at a 30-year mortgage, it's still a long mortgage. But if we move it to 50-year mortgage, it seems like, and it would lower how much you would have to pay per month in order to get the mortgage. I think it would also require you to have higher interest rates in order to get the mortgage, because the mortgage that you're filling out is for a longer period of time. But the bad thing is, let's say $500,000 home, that's a cheap one, $500,000, $300,000 home that you buy is going to accrue much more interest over the 50, or as you say, 70-year mortgages. It would cost you half, a third of the home in just interest alone. It's not. It's only good for the bankers, and primarily most people don't buy a home until they're at least 40 plus years old. That's statistically. I was looking up some statistics. So if they're not buying a home until they're 40 plus years old, and most people don't live a full life, or a lot of people don't live a full life, odds are you're going to croak and never have a what do you call it, a will or anything, or your willie won't be able to pick up on the mortgage, and the bank gets it back. It's just crazy. Now, 12-year mortgages, those are a little, I mean, you can get them. You can get a 12-year mortgage if you want, but if you want to try to pay less, then it's good to get a 30-year, 25-year mortgage. Anyway, let's go back to this crazy lady quitting the Congress. She was supposed to be draining the swamp. Now she finds dirt in the swamp, and what's she do? Run away.
my family that I can never get back. And I showed up in places like outside the New York courthouse in Collect Pond Park against a raging leftist mob as Trump faced Democrat lawfare. Meanwhile, most of the establishment Republicans
'Cause
who
I'm your
secretly
puppet.
hate him and who stabbed him in the back and never defended him against anything have all been welcomed in right after the election. And I will never forget the day I
I'm your
had to
puppet.
leave my mother's side as my father had brain surgery to remove cancerous tumors in order to fly to Washington, D.C. to defend President Trump and vote no against the Democrats' second impeachment in 2021.
How you feel about that now, ding dong?
My poor father and my poor mother, it was way too much for all of us. Through it all, I never changed or went back on my campaign promises and only disagreed in a few areas, like my stance against H-1Bs replacing American jobs, AI state moratoriums, debt for life 50-year mortgage scams, standing strongly against all involvement in foreign wars, and demanding the release of the Epstein files. Other than that, my voting record has been solidly with my party and the president. Loyalty should be a two-way street.
No. With Trump, loyalty only goes one way, towards Trump. To all decisions, anything that Trump does, any decision he makes goes one way.
And we should be able to vote our conscience and represent our district's interests because our job title
That, and he's very thin-skinned.
is literally representative. America first should mean America first and only Americans first. with no other foreign country ever being attached to America first in our halls of government. Standing up for American women at 14 years old, trafficked and used by rich, powerful men, should not result in me being called a traitor and threatened by the President of the United States, whom I fought for. However, while yes, hurtful, my heart remains filled with joy, my life is filled with happiness, and my true convictions remain unchanged, because my self-worth is not defined by a man, but instead by God, who created everything in existence. You see, I have never valued power, titles, or attention, in spite of all the wrong assumptions about me. I do not cling to those things because they are meaningless and empty traps that hold too many people in Washington. I believe in term limits and do not think Congress should be a lifelong career or an assisted living facility.
It's like every so often she says something that I totally agree with. All these old dudes in there, and even the younger dudes who would have no job if they weren't in there.
My only goal and desire has ever been to hold the Republican Party accountable.
Then do. Stay in Congress and hold them accountable. That would be the best option. If you really, truly hit your head and became sensible all of a sudden, and you really wanted to drain the swamp, you would back some ideas maybe that the Democrats have that are not bad ideas, which you have been doing, such as the health care. But you just folded like 1 month, 1 month of ridicule.
For the promises it makes to the American people and put America first. And I have fought against Democrats' damaging policies like the Green New Deal, wide open, deadly, unsafe border policies, and the trans agenda on children and against women.
I might have been lying a little, stretching it to, do I think she should stay in Congress? No. But that's what she was arguing for in her campaign. And I know you weren't talking about me. I just thought I'd throw that in there.
With that has brought years of non-stop, never-ending personal attacks, death threats, lawfare, ridiculous slander and lies about me that most people could never withstand even for a single day. It has been unfair and wrong, not only to me, but especially to my family, but it's been wrong to my district as well. I have too much self-respect and dignity. I love my family way too much, and I do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for.
Sorry, I had my mic off. That's a very clear acknowledgement that this president attacks his enemies, even if they're his best buddy. How many times did we see Donald Trump hugging and smiling on a red-hatted, smiling Marjorie Taylor Greene?
Only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms, and in turn be expected to defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me. It's all so absurd and completely unserious. I refuse to be a battered wife, hoping it all goes away and gets better. If I am cast aside by the president and the MAGA political machine and replaced by neocons, big pharma, big tech, military-industrial war complex, foreign leaders, and the elite donor class that can never ever relate to real Americans, then many common Americans have been cast aside and replaced as well.
I mean, right. If you see this happening and you know that you can stand in its way, you know how to stand in its way, then do so. Why? Why would you give up? What, you said you don't care about titles, you don't care about shame. Well, you didn't say shame, but I mean, you did rant about bagel people space lasers, which kind of takes no shame, but you see this. You see this unfolding before your eyes, and you're in a position that you can do something about it. And you know your leaving will cause harm, big harm, by these bureaucratical people that would be put into that place. Why would you make it empty? So they could fill it.
There is no plan to save the world or a 4D chess game being played. When common American people realize and understand that the political industrial complex of both parties is ripping this country apart, that not one elected leader like me is able to.
Well, it's funny that specifically it says decorating it with silver and gold.
Stop Washington's machine from gradually destroying our country. And instead, the reality is that they, common Americans, the
Pulling
people,
it from the
possess
ground
the real
and
power over
nailing
Washington.
it to the floor.
Then I'll be here by their side to
Decorating
rebuild
it
it.
with silver and
Until
gold.
then, I'm going back to the people that I love, to live my life to the fullest as I always have, and I look forward to a new path ahead. I'll be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026. And I look forward to seeing many of you again sometime in the future.
Hey man, it's supposed to be bagel people space laser.
America.
Anyway, that was a lot of fun. So my next video, and yes, I do think she should resign because she's pretty much useless, and the Republicans are completely going to always battle against her, and I don't think, but as far as leaving that spot open, they're gonna fill it. They're gonna fill it with the nastiest person they can put in there. But the next topic I have is, why should ICE be identifiable? Now you'll notice that you'll see ICE agents all the time in just regular street clothes, or you'll see them in, you know, basic gear that you could probably buy at an army surplus and run around looking just like them. Go to the local gun shop and go to the army surplus, and all of a sudden you look like an ICE agent. The news has been reporting on this incident a little bit strange. Let me share this here. Now, from the reports I've seen, if you look up ICE agent pulls a gun on teen driver, you get ICE agent pulled a gun on teen driver, and it repeats it over and over again. California family says off-duty ICE agent, ICE agent, ICE agent, ICE agent, ICE agent, over and over and over again. There's so many hits. Unfortunately, the man in this incident is not an ICE agent. He's impersonating a police officer. But in the act, what he's doing is acting under color of law. So essentially, regardless how much, so I ended up digging into it a little bit deeper to find out that DHS has claimed that he's not an ICE agent, and ICE has determined that he's not an ICE agent. And my first problem is, he's supposedly stopping this guy because he's speeding. ICE are not cops. They don't. It's not equal to a sworn officer of the law. It's an immigration and control, or immigration and customs enforcement officer. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be looking at packages and stopping bad people from coming, or wrong people from coming in. You're supposed to be looking at what comes across the border, not worrying about regular, average, everyday traffic control. Now, the original, oh my God, the Miss Pig calling Okay, so they made a big deal about lipstick on a pig, and then the president of the United States just looks over at one of the press and says, "Piggy?" I know that's probably, I don't know, man. That just brought to my mind that. But the original video that I got this from, the audio wasn't very good. So I jumped up the audio as much as I can to try to hear the conversation in different spots. What I did is I cut the loudest parts from the less loud parts, and I raised the less loud parts to where we can kind of hear it. And then I had to up the loudest parts also because the whole video was pretty much quiet. Hopefully it's not too loud for everybody. I mean, is this guy like just hanging out in the neighborhood waiting for any? He's in the road. Is he just kind of like waiting for any car to drive by?
Stop. Slow down. Slow down.
Okay, right about here, I think I'd be making my mind that I have two choices. One choice is keep driving. The other choice is make a speed bump. You know, I'd run the risk that maybe this guy my steering might be quicker than his trigger.
Stop. Slow down. Stop. Freeze.
But apparently the kid stops.
Put the car in park. Right now. Put the fucking car in park. Police. Put the car in park. Police. Put it in park. Put it in fucking park. Alright? Get out of the park. Turn it off. Get out. Get out. You're speeding in the fucking neighborhood. Sit down here. Oh yeah, sit down. Get your ass down. You have a driver's license?
You're speeding and you're an immigrant, is what it sounded like he said.
You have a permit?
Oh yeah, by the way, this guy has a Latin sounding name. I forget what it was. We were just looking at the reports.
Okay. I'll keep your stuff. Alright, stop the car. Turn it off. We're going 100 miles an hour. Fuck, we're gonna see the difference. I got your own camera, buddy. Keep your license. You're running me over. I was in the middle of the street. You're driving so fast, you're running me over.
What are you talking about? Why were you in the middle of the street? He just said I was in the middle of the street. You're running me over. Why were you in the middle of the street? Or he didn't say, why were you in the middle of the street? Why are you running me over? Why were you in the middle of the street? What, does the vehicle look Mexican to you? And even if this was an ICE agent, where does he have the right to just police the neighborhood, just walking down the street, waiting for a Mexican-looking vehicle to drive by? I'm just going with the Mexican-looking vehicle because I have no clue in the middle of the night what he would think he's doing to enforce immigrations or customs.
You're driving without a license. Keep your keys out of the car. Here's your license. I understand. We're going to get the police. Come home with it.
And apparently the kid at the time didn't have his license. What happened was a few moments later, his parents come over and because they're just right up the street, his parents come over and they show the ICE agent his passport, which is connected to his, I think he has a license. I didn't look at that part, but this guy definitely is not an ICE agent.
Driving our license, we go 100 miles in Resignation. Instead of talking that. Excuse me? I swear I'm lying. I need to know who you are. My name's not okay, stand back here. I'm gonna get my phone. I'm gonna get my laptop. I'm gonna run your record check.
And the sad thing is, he sounds just like an ICE agent. I need to know who you are. You look brown. You look like an immigrant. Do you have papers?
Sit your ass down. Do not take off. I already have your license. You don't want me going to the house. 718 Hotel 12. Don't get next to your truck. Sit your ass down.
I wouldn't have stopped. There's no way I would have stopped.
Driving down a license. You cannot drive. Minors that drive without a license.
And like I said, I'd make sure he's not going to put holes in the back of my truck either. I might lose a headlight. That'd be his problem, Pancake. And this is why I think that they should be identifiable. This guy could be anybody. Anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. And this kid was trying to comply. It's California. You can look it up. It's a federal agent. Let me see. I just was looking at history. Here, we'll give you one of the links. Holy, that's a long link. Yeah, that didn't work. Flood in the chat. Oops, did I delete a comment? You might want to retype that. I didn't see that comment. So yeah, if you just search up ICE agent detains teen driver, his name was there it is. Rodriguez. says Riverside, Southern California. Yeah, bounty hunters have actually functioned for a long time without much problem. But I don't know if they're hiring like ICE, where they're pretty much putting out a bulletin across the airways that they'll give you $60,000. You don't have to have any training or any educational background, or you can even be maybe even a felon. I don't know. They might even accept felons. This is, I believe, about the time that his parents came up to show them the I believe it was his passport. And I tried to jack the volume as much as I could.
Look, I want somebody to find her, somebody needs to grab her. You want to be responsible?
Want to be responsible for him? Go ahead. Yeah, that's what they're doing. They're telling you to get the heck off their street, because clearly you're not a cop and should not even be detaining him whatsoever for a traffic violation. That's not what ICE's job is. Yeah, from the beginning of this video, he was just kind of standing there in the street. I wonder if he was just kind of walking around the street waiting. But I looked him up. He's most certainly not an ICE agent. He's not a cop. He ended up getting arrested, and I hope he does good time for this.
So you want to be responsible? These are guests. Look, I'm just seeing someone hauling ass. Whatever it is, whatever happens. Plus, I identify myself and you kept driving. Okay? Okay. Really, I was on that street.
You identified yourself as an ICE agent and said, "Stop, police." You are not that. In a few moments, you will be walking to your house and trying to hide. Not long after that, you'll be contacted by the police.
Not a problem. Not a problem. We're de-escalating, letting her mind her, and then you want her to take us out. Then take her to the other side. Look, you got a guy here in the middle of the night calling ass, and I tell him
It sounds like they've got a pretty good lawyer as well. Now, this point has a weird echo, but this actual point I had to jack up from. I jacked that up to the moon. It was possibly one of the loudest raisings. I must have hit the raising of the volume 30 times.
It is not okay that someone's going 100 miles an hour. Somebody
You know, kind of equal to that, one of the worst things I saw was a little girl that had got off the bus from school, and she ended up walking around like the bus stop for like an hour before somebody finally, and this was all on like a little camera. She was just right there on a camera that was right there at the bus stop. She just walked around in the area until somebody come up to find out that her mom was picked up by ICE. Mom and dad was picked up by ICE. They just left the kid to whatever. Sounds like somebody said grab my wallet, which sounded like it might have been the kid.
No, I said someone was speaking about not, I don't know what they found. You don't know, but when I asked him to stop, I was in the middle of the road, he was running past me. I didn't get it. I'm not a punk, you're not in trouble. We're not, I don't know why. I was smoking, okay. He just said he did. I didn't get it. Yeah, I thought that.
Yeah, the kid said he was just standing there. He sounds like he's having a hard time explaining why he tried to stop him to the parents. Why were you in the road? Because you're in the road is not a reason to stop somebody, especially in the location you're at. How many times have you seen frauditors get arrested because they were standing in the road?
He eventually stopped and I chased him down. No, I whatever. I'm not gonna argue here all night. You wanna argue, it's fine. Do what you got to do. Okay. It's not so that I control. Someone here, you might guess, you're a more than that different thing, and it's perfectly okay. Whatever it costs, whatever it costs.
And be it that he's not an ICE agent, what would have been his end game? What would have been his end game? He's not a police officer. He's not a federal agent. He's not ICE.
That's fine. Don't knock at the door. Hey, with all due respect, I was in the middle of the road, 2 houses down, everybody here has a camera. And you can see exactly that he tried to run over. Okay? Okay. Whatever. He stuck here. You think I was here? I was over there fighting.
Was it the Coast Guard? I think recently the Coast Guard, they were going to, because it used to say that those type of symbols were hate speech. They changed it for like a few hours. It wasn't very long, to say that the claim their hate speech can't be proven or something like that. Of course, you know, the public went, what?
You're supposed to talk to your parents. No, you're not. You're mine. That's perfectly fine. You're good with his parents. You're with his parents, right? Okay. I'll be up here if you come. If you come enough.
And this is right about the time where he starts to fold. He's already like, I don't care, we're not talking about this. Are you gonna get going or not? And the kid does, along with his mom. And he had just got there dropping like his girlfriend off or something. And Lassie, the rescue dog. Anyway, that is absolutely crazy. I think it's nuts that a lot of the reports are still reporting it ICE agent when he's not really an ICE agent. It should be man impersonating ICE agent working under the color of law. Detains a 17-year-old driver. Anyway, that's about all I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoyed the show. As always, you guys are awesome. Remember, you don't have to be wise. Just don't submit to stupid. Thank you very much, and have a good day.
Sometimes doo-doo goes to doo-doo, and there ain't doo-doo you can do. You just say, well, doo-doo, and
Batman's back in town, Penguin.
resist. Doo-doo, I'm tired, but I'll persist. Doo-doo into doo-doo again, what a twist. Next week the word is gonna be poop. Substitute the S word, it's a new scoop. And life gives you doo-doo, don't you droop. Just laugh it off and join the poop troop. It's on a doo-doo, pocket full of piss. Life's a mess, but we can't resist. Doo-doo, I'm tired, but I'll persist. Doo-doo into doo-doo again, what a twist. In the land of doo-doo, we all unite. Through the stink and the mess, we see the light. With a smile on our face, we take the fight, turning doo-doo days into something bright. A song of doo-doo, pocket full of piss. Life's a mess, but we can't resist. Doo-doo, I'm tired, but I'll persist. Doo-doo into doo-doo again, what a twist. When doo-doo hits the fan, just take
If
a
you have
sip.
it, Rachel, I'll take
Andrew
it.
Andrew washes his face with the same bar soap he probably washes his balls with, and look at that.
But we'll make it grand. In the land of doo-doo, we'll make our stand. From the bathroom to the backyard, doo-doo's everywhere, but we won't let it bring us down. We don't care, we'll dance through the doo-doo without a scare. In the doo-doo kingdom, we'll always fare. A song of dooh-doo, pocket full of piss.
Well, we were
Life's a mess, but we
talking
can't
about
resist.
Department of
Doo-doo, I'm
Homeland
tired, but I'll
Security, and
persist.
Christy Nolan
Doo-doo into
probably
doo-doo
shot
again,
it.
what a twist. So when doo-doo comes knocking, don't you fret, just sing this song and don't forget. Life's full of doo-doo, but it's not over yet. We'll laugh through the doo-doo with no regret.